Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and this is the last of the long form ones of the day. And I do like to finish on something light and bright and cheery, and we have one because we have another defection from the SNP to Alba. This time it's a guy called Carl Rosie. He's a councillor, and he's jumped ship. He's gone over and joined Alex Salmond, and the reason he says is all really down to Fergus Ewing. Now, that's not to say that Fergus Ewing has done something that sickened him. No, far from it. It's the fact that he actually admires and likes Fergus Ewing and felt that the way the party treated Ewing was abominable. And he says, basically, he no longer wishes to be associated with a party that treats its members in the way that it does. He sees them as being entirely toxic. And of course, he's right. They are. They are an appalling bunch. And you have someone with, the wherewithal, if you like, the respect and the experience of Fergus Ewing getting treated shamefully like a little recalcitrant schoolboy. It's just, goes to show the mindset of the SNP. So anyway, he's upsticked. He's gone. He's joined Salmond, and he's left another embarrassing trail behind for Humza Yousaf to mop up. Let's take a look. It just gets worse and worse as time goes on, doesn't it? Every day, every couple of days at least, there seems to be someone else jumping ship, leaving the SNP, going to Labour, to Alba, to the Tories even. And there's nothing they can do about it. Because every time they try to strengthen their hand, it always backfires. Everything they do is the wrong decision, the SNP. They never get anything right. And even now, even their own members have had enough, and they're just going, do you know what? I'm not interested anymore. I don't care for this party. What this party is doing is wrong. And these people are seeing it. Now, all you need to do is to get the wild-eyed loons to start seeing it, and the SNP are finished. Anyway, Fergus Ewing inspires SNP councillor to defect to Alba as Humza Yousaf's troubles worsen. Worsen by the day. Every day, something else, another thing. This is why I say Humza Yousaf probably gone by the end of the month. Probably gone by Easter. They're all looking around now. They've all realised that Humza Yousaf is the wrong man for the wrong time in the wrong party. Highland councillor Carl Rosie becomes the second defector from the SNP to Alex Salmond's party this week, as he cited how the Scottish Government ignores the North as the reason for leaving. Oh yeah, no, if you're outside the central belt, they don't care, do you? Anyone further north than Falkirk, you're in terra incognito. They've never heard of it. SNP rebel Fergus Ewing was cited as the inspiration for a nationalist councillor to defect from the party to Alba. As Humza Yousaf's troubles worsened, Carl Rosie quit last month, as he said he was deeply troubled by the direction of travel they were going in. This was due to a number of controversial policies adopted by the SNP, including the highly protected marine areas, a failure, the DRS, a failure, the A9 dualling, a failure, and he accused them of being disproportionately focused on the central belt. He also slated the Skexit strategy of the First Minister as incoherent. That's because none of them have got a clue what they're doing. After sitting as an independent for a number of weeks, Rosie became the second Albert councillor in the country. Alex Salmond Party have yet actually to be elected in Scotland, and instead are focusing on defections. But it seems to be working, doesn't it? It seems to be a policy that they're succeeding in. And it's just trying to get that critical mass. Once you get there, once you get that critical mass and it becomes a thing, then people are more comfortable to vote for you. And I think it's slowly gaining acceptance. I mean, for all his faults, and I disagree with his policies on independence and that, but I can't help but actually like Alex Salmond. I know he's had some terrible views over the years and things, but he comes across, he's charming. He's human. This is the thing. He's a human being, and that's very rare in politics. And certainly none of them in the SNP are. Anyway, two MPs, Neil Hanvey and Kelly McCaskill, and one MSP and Ash Regan, all moved across from the SNP to Alba. And now we have the second councillor to do so. Well done to him. The Thurso and North West Caithness councillor said, "It is becoming increasingly clear to me that the SNP's lack of action on independence and their centralised policies do not align with the needs of the Highlands." And ultimately, of course, he is a representative of the people there. He doesn't represent Scotland. He represents his constituency. And so, yes, if he's fighting for that, then fair enough. He pointed to the treatment of the Highlands MSP, Fergus Ewing, as helping him to make his decision to defect. And again, I don't think anyone of any party agreed with that. Fergus, again, is one of those very few. Again, you disagree with his stance on independence, but you admire the man. He's a hard-working, dedicated politician who cares deeply for his constituency. And that's a very rare thing in politics. Anyway, he was suspended for a week after voting with the opposition to sack Scottish Greens Minister Lorna Slater over her shambolic handling of the DRS. The veteran nationalist attempted to appeal this decision, but lost this, and branding the party authoritarian for not allowing him to vote for his constituents and his consciousness. Rosie added, "Despite my admiration for individuals like Fergus Ewing within the SNP for their pro-Highland stance, I am dismayed by the treatment he has received from his own party. His recent words and actions have struck a chord with many Highlanders who felt let down by the Edinburgh government." I get the impression that, as far as the SNP are concerned, the Highlands are more of an inconvenience, really. It's all such a long way away and everything costs a lot of money to get things up there. Why can't there be a separate north of Scotland? Split Scotland into two halves, and have a separate country. Make the north of Scotland an independent country and the south of Scotland an independent country. I think that would suit the SNP, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm not saying I want it. God help me, no. But I'm just saying it seems to be the mindset of the SNP. Anyway, he said, "Initially, I intended to continue to serve my constituents as an independent councillor. However, I then received a letter from one of our community councils expressing their desperation due to decades of neglect and centralised policies. And that, along with several other factors, influenced my decision." And his decision was to up sticks, go and join Alex and become an Alba member. And fair enough, you've got to do what you like. As long as you're looking after your constituents, that's the important thing. That's the only crucial thing. He goes on and talks about some bits and bobs. I'm not interested in that. Mr. Rosie rejected calls for him to stand down and be re-elected as an Alba councillor, as he cited a precedent set by two other Caithness representatives who joined parties or alliances after being elected. Plus, there's no obligation to do so. Would they be calling for that if someone left Labour and joined the SNP? Of course not. Load of old rubbish. Salmon said, "We're delighted that Carl has joined in, blah, 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 blah." We're just talking about all the other things. And he's talking about Steve Chisholm as well joining. He's the guy that mentioned earlier, the big businessman who came across and brought his money with him, much to the immense annoyance of Humza Yousaf, who somehow is still in power, still in leader, but I think not for long. Ho-hum. Never mind. Well done. Anyway, I shall round off there. Come up and we've finished the video. They really are rats leaving a sinking ship, isn't it? I mean, it's going down fast, and everybody who can is getting out. And they're trying to get out untainted, and I think that's fine and fair enough. But everyone who leaves further humiliates Humza Yousaf. His time must be nearly over. It must be time for someone to have a little tap on his shoulder and say, "Humza, can we have a word?" And the sooner the better, really. Ultimate humiliation. Do it before his year is up. That would be the best thing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. And as this is the last one of the day, thank you very much for watching. And I will be back tomorrow with the long forms, although there may be some flash videos going up during the rest of the day. Till then, bye.